What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, Garrido, ESA League Director, here to
Morning.
talk about the virtual forums held for coaches and athletes. Now, sports on Island has been put on hold for the last several months, but GDOE wanted to release some information about interscholastic sports competition.
Well, good morning, Dave, and thanks for this opportunity. It was pretty exciting stuff. We met with quite a few coaches from all different sports, all different quarters that we usually see only once every quarterly. But this time we had a whole bunch of them all together. One of the things we let them know is that ESA is working to be in line with GDOE's plans. And so since GDOE had some views of a possibility of going back face-to-face in January, then we wanted to let everyone know that we should also be preparing in case that did happen for sports as well.
Well, it's been a while since the athletic directors and coaches have had a chance to meet with the student athletes. From the coaches' side, what were some of the main issues that were brought up?
Well, a lot of them were looking at concern. I really could tell that the football coaches especially, they wanted to make sure that they had their voices heard. Coach Bland wants to be involved with a committee to kind of see what we can do to salvage some type of a football season. So they all want to be they want to make sure that they have their expertise, so to say, because they are what Coach Bland mentioned was subject matter experts. And yeah, I agree that we should hear what they have to say and see what they might what they could put together to try and salvage a season. One of the things they did like is the fact that we put a lot of the supposed high-risk sports later on into the year so that they have a better chance of being played. And that's really what our agenda is right now. We're with ESA, we're trying to make sure that we try to not cancel anything until it has to be. And right now we're trying to keep all our options open.
When you talk about guidelines and, trying to get sports back on track, besides the normal temperature check and everything, is it limiting the amount of fans, and what are some of the other guidelines that you guys were looking at?
Well, probably the biggest guideline is we're going to operate with what the GovGuam has to hand down to us. So we're going to continue to monitor that situation. If GovGuam opens up to PCOR 3, that might be the first real kind of indication that we're going to start looking at opening up. And then we're going to follow guidelines that have already been set in place. I guess most of them know them already. So if you went into a store or went into a government office, a lot of times they have pre-screening questions asking them how you feel, have you had a cough lately, and so forth. And then those guidelines we follow, including temperature checks and so forth. And really, it's a really strict view on how sports is going to be run. That includes separation of the athletes in pods and during practices, wiping down of all the equipment, keeping contact and keeping a list of everyone who shows up at practice, the whole gamut of things.
And one of the main purpose of getting everybody back into communication to encourage athletes to begin their training again.
Yeah, we really, one of our concerns, obviously, I believe everyone's concern all across the board is the social and emotional well-being of our athletes. And we all know the benefits of sports and what it can bring. And we felt that it's been a long time. We realized that a lot of our athletes were very excited when school started. They had that normal feeling when come July and August of first quarter sports, and all our football players and our volleyball players were getting really excited. I'm sure even though school wasn't open yet, a lot of them were probably training on the side, and we noticed that kind of that enthusiasm might have been dying out. The superintendent brought it up himself. He has a daughter who plays volleyball. There were certain things that he noticed from just her in motivation too, and that's all around. So we wanted to make sure that if we were going to ask the athletes to prepare, that we gave them good guidance towards that, including how to train independently, the different options that are available out there.
You said there were 400 plus athletes who registered for the forum. And speaking with them, what were some of their biggest concerns?
Well, obviously their biggest concerns were the usual, which is, can you switch out this sport for that sport? And because we have a lot of multi-athletes, so there's going to be some conflict and some clashing of sports that are being offered. There was a young lady who asked if we can not make sure that I believe it was rugby and basketball. We put in a tentative block together, and then there were some gentlemen who were asking about football, and I forgot another sport. There was that was really their concern. It's more they were really hoping that they could continue operations or participating as usual.
You guys have talked about starting with low-risk sports. Let's talk about some of the low-risk sports that have a possibility of starting first.
Okay, so right now we have the low-risk sports, which have been indicated by a lot of different federations. That includes golf, track, tennis, cheerleading, cross country, and then we have medium risk sports such as volleyball, baseball, soccer, paddling. I think baseball and softball might have been considered low to medium risk because of the lack of contact with the opponent, except for when you're at the bases and so forth. And then you got your higher risk sports, which were football, rugby, and wrestling, which had a lot of contact with the opponent. We do know that there is some soccer going on the island, and we can kind of gauge on what they're doing to operate that safely. And obviously the others are already sports that are allowed. They do allow tennis and cross country right now in the conditions. So we felt those are a good chance of starting up also.
And for some of those athletes out there that have some information, how should they go about contacting maybe their coaches, athletic directors, just to stay in touch for anything that might be released in the near future?
Well, that is going to be very important. We do have our social media pages. We have our IG account, which is GDOE ISA, our Twitter, which is GDOE ISA, and our Facebook, which is GDOE ISA. So we're planning to make sure that that's all our announcements are there. We're going to go through our athletic directors and our administration also to shoot out emails. And of course, we're going to go to our friends in the media. So we're really going to try and make those announcements out there so people will be able to be informed if and when that does start and what type of things that are offered for them.